Hey guys, it's James here again, and you find me at home. This is where we do all the editing, all of the behind the scenesy stuff. Because much like you guys up there, we are also subject to the current lockdown restrictions. Now, as I'm filming this, it might get changed this evening. I can't imagine much is going to change, to be fair. So we are still here, still functioning, still commenting, still kind of doing bits and pieces. But I've made a conscious decision not to go out to film. You know, even though I can, we've got land that I literally just go out the back. I don't want to be seen to be encouraging anybody else to break or flout the restrictions. Obviously, they're there for our own good. So that is why, for the last, however long this has been going on for, I haven't gone out and done any reviews, any shooting, or anything like that, just because I'm just trying to behave a little bit. Once it's all finished, we've got loads in plan, various bits and pieces down on the floor here that I'll show you in a minute. But I thought we'd just do a quick FAQ and also just a Q&A thing. So you would have seen on Facebook, YouTube and Instagram, put a couple of posts out just saying, look, if you want any questions asking, you know, anything like that, put them below and we'll go from there. So I've taken a selection of some of those. We will run through them. We will then have a look at some of the comments that have taken my eye over the last 6 months. I've gone through, be it the trolls, just silly comments, things that have made me chuckle, general kind of admin-y stuff. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. So, we'll start with the Facebook comments. Now, Dave Graham, you asked a very good question. Can we see some more scope reviews? And can you do a review of the HW110, the Viroc? Now, you have to skip back along, quite a long way away, but we did actually cover the review of the 110. If you just search it on our channel, that should pop up. As of scope reviews, I'd like to do more with optics. Again, the thing with optics is quite expensive, and once I bought one that's set up, it tends to stay on my gun. So unless they're being sent through and things, that can be a little bit of a different, still difficult thing to do. Hopefully, with more guns being tested this year, got a couple more suppliers that are willing to work with us, I might be able to get a few more optics and things for you to see. I had approached a company not too long ago. Basically they specialise in scopes and said, look, could we do a little bit something to do here? Obviously we get demo guns coming in, we could do different scopes, different things, and we could do a bit of work together. Now the outcome of that was basically they were going to send somebody down in their company uniform, stand in front of my camera, giving a run through of the scope. So basically just, here's a box, there's the scope, this is the spec, and then post it on my channel. Now, in my mind, that's not a review, and that's why those discussions never went any further. Again, boring stuff that goes on in the background. So, as I say, I'm hoping to do a little bit more with scopes. Obviously, there's a few new ones that have kind of taken my eye. Work in progress. I will try and see what I can put together for you. Right, next up, Derek, your question. What is the best sub-12 foot-pound air rifle lightweight for your back garden? Now, there's loads of different options here. You can make this as cheap or as expensive as you want. Obviously, PCPs and things, they tend to be sort of like £400 upwards. Couple that would take my eye, Gamma Boxer, that looked quite cool. And the BSA Ultra, that's a really, really nifty little gun and very, very compact, very, very light. Quite good if you've got kids because they can shoulder them. They are quite small guns, but you can still keep all the safety because obviously the bolt's still quite hard to pull back. So they're not going to be able to get carried away if that's kind of the angle you're looking at. Other than that, you've got a couple of other options, but again, that's a little bit more expensive. The Wildcats, absolutely love those. Rumour that a new one might be coming out. I've seen some pictures floating around on a couple of Facebook groups. But again, that's going to be a little bit more expensive. So my guess really to start with at least, Gamma Boxer, BSA Ultra. If you want to pay a little bit more, and again you want lightweight, then the Wolf of Rain, that was very lightweight. A bullpup again, that was quite cool. A little bit more expensive again. So those would probably be some good ones to have a look at. So James Trenchard, your question. What's my favourite rifle, setup, scope, mod, etc.? It's quite a broad question, to be fair. Each of my guns have a specific job. So to say I have a favourite per se might be a little bit difficult. The one that I'm reaching for at the moment the most is my FX Crown. Now that is a 22 caliber rifle. I've currently got Eagle Vision mounts on there, the Vortex Diamondback, and a new, or new to me anyway, a Donny FL Sumo. Super quiet, blooming accurate, and it just does everything I need it to do. So that's my go-to rifle at the moment for when I'm out and about, work. It's either my FX Impact, which I've kind of got night vision set up on, or my HW100. So again, they've all got their perks. It's a bit of a tough one to say that is my specific favourite one, ultimate setup. Yeah, that's probably the best answer for that one. Then the next question was from Paul, and I actually think this is a really, really good question and something that maybe people don't think about, haven't thought about, or whatever. And the basic premise was he has his FX Impact, he loads the magazine in, brings the bolt forward, goes for a bimble. Then what? He hasn't had to fire the shot, but then you're left with a loaded gun. What do you do? Now this is something that we deal with quite a lot at work. Obviously, if I'm going in to do a pest control shoot, the gun will be loaded, safety catch will be on when we're ready to use it. Shoot the birds, or whatever we're shooting, you know, rabbits, birds. I never shoot rats, or not through work at least. You then reload, you go for a walk around, and you think, there's nothing here. So then what? What do you do? What do you do with that last round? And Paul says, how long is it suitable to leave it in the gun? How long before the power starts to drop off? But the angle that I would probably be willing to take this one is if you're at a position where you're at the end of your shoot with a loaded gun, do you want to be the one to explain to a police officer that may or may not pull you over why you have a loaded gun in your car? Or if you go over a bump or have an accident or for some unknown reason the thing goes off, it's cocked, it's got gas in it, it's going to send a projectile out. If you are in a position where you've got to round up the spout and you don't know what to do with it, find a suitable backstop, be it a hedge, a RSJ if you're inside a building, anything that is safe. Discharge the gun, unload it, make it safe, put it in the box. Don't store it loaded in whatever state, because even if you decock it, you've still got to pellet up the action. When you then go to load it back up again, you've then got 2 pellets. So you're in a bit of a dodgy way, and I would probably just say, best bet, if you're not going to take your shot, shoot into a safe backstop, unload, put the gun away. Do not keep it stored, loaded for any period of time, unless you are actually engaged in the activity of shooting. So that'd be my best advice on that one. Okay, so YouTube comments. Now some of these are funny, some of them are just rude. We have to sift through a lot. And even for a small channel like mine, we do get a lot of traffic, a lot of people raising questions and things. As I say, some of them make me smile, some of them not so much. So I've got my phone in front of me here. We'll just read you out a couple of the ones that have kind of caught my eye. Okay, so the next one was from a very angry sounding 4Kill over on one of our videos where I took apart in 1911. And his comment was simply, guns should never be taken apart, it ruins them. Debatable. Some might say that gun maintenance is quite a key element in keeping your gun working. Maybe not so much with air guns, but it's a bit of a daft comment to be fair, mate. Now, if you want to see silly comments, go to my review on the ASG Blaster 4.5mm BBs. If I get asked another time, can I use these for airsoft, I think I might go mad. In fact, I'm debating doing a video purely on that. People keep asking, can I use an air pistol for airsoft? Well, no, because they're not soft. They do the air bit, but they don't do the soft bit. Anybody that's in a position where they're trying to justify, I mean, the other day I had a guy saying, oh, I could just use them in a Sig MCX on the local airsoft field. Anybody that's trying to justify using an air gun for airsoft, just put the guns down, do some homework, or just don't pick the gun up at all again. It's just completely absurd why anybody would want to do it. When, to be completely fair, the airsoft collections that you can get and the different models are way cooler than the air guns that we get anyway, so I don't understand why you'd want to use them. I might actually do a video on this coming forward, try and get hold of a couple of airsoft sites, see if I can get some statements or what would happen if some idiot did decide to turn up with an air gun to play airsoft. Like I say, they both do the air bit, they don't do the soft bit. One does, one doesn't. So this was one of the most recent questions on the last time that I went shooting with the Barrett 50 cal. And they say that the real ones and the airsoft ones are cool, but could you imagine a pellet version? Real pellet. I think I'll stick to the real ones there. Again, 4.5mm plastic ball bearings. Could I use these at an airsoft event? Now this was one of the more recent trolls, and yes, Mr. Uncle Yaya, I just called you a troll again. I know you didn't like that in the comments. But this was on the Youre Glock 19. Now this was the first one that came out, the non-blowback one. And basically, he kind of went to town. He really went for me. And we had, it started off saying, I won't be coming back to your channel. It's fair, it's completely your own choice. I can't believe you have destroyed this gun's name. I'm genuinely angered that you did this. Shame on you, dirty pig. And you know what, comments like that, I'm not going to be too fussed if you don't come back. And all of this centred around, although he said he wasn't going to come back, he then spent the next 16 hours, the comments were staggered, basically going after anybody that dared to question why non-blowbacks were the superior pistol. And I think I was pretty fair in that review, to be completely fair. Yeah, I said it was a good pistol. I do like it. It's accurate, it's good on CO2, it's powerful, it built like a brick, but it lacks the realism, so you can't take it apart. It's not blowback. And that was the key thing there. He doesn't like non-blowbacks. So Mr. Yaya, or Uncle Yaya, whatever you want to call yourself, if you're watching this, if not, I'm not too fussed. So this one, did the Hades pellets have plastic over the heads to stop them expanding? No, why would we have done that? Every time that we test something, every time that I demo a product, I want the absolute best result we can get. So I give everything a fair chance. If there are times where I think, oh my God, like this is awful, I will simply send it back, discard the footage, say no more. I am not going to be the one to sit and trash talk something for the sake of trash talking. In the case of the Hades, we did tests over multiple visits. Those were my results. That was what it was. I do have a box sat down by my TV, which has got a brand new tin from a different supplier, ordered in my own name, so nobody knows that it was coming to Replica Reviews. And I will do the same test again, and some. We will go to town on those pellets, because I want them to do well. Like with everything we review, I want it to be good, I want it to succeed, and I want it to have the best opportunity to show itself off as we can give it. Unfortunately, some products, as I say, that just isn't possible, so rather than slate them, we just leave them. Biggest one there, you know, I did a video on it, but then we never did any more, was the Sig P226. That was what it was. This one, again, this made me chuckle. People clearly can't read titles or descriptions. I wasted 3 minutes and 2 seconds of my life thinking that that was a real gun. If you'd just taken like half a second to read, you wouldn't have wasted any time. And nevertheless, it is a real gun. It was a thing. It's not a hologram. It just isn't 9mm. So another comment on the 50 cal video was loads of laughing. The only other place that you can shoot this in England is Wales. Now, as a Welshman, I'll be damned if you call Wales part of England. Maybe read up on some maps and geographies. We have different flags. We have these border things that go between us. Very much not the same country. United? Absolutely. Same country? No. Now, I'm going to summarise, there's a couple and they're all kind of the same. It's mostly guys from the States basically saying, oh, you guys don't know what guns are. Oh, I thought you couldn't shoot anything. I might actually do a video on this as a separate topic. It's quite a long topic, but the general gist of it is, yes, we can own guns. Yes, we do have to jump through some hoops. But if you're willing and able and you haven't broken the law, you can own all sorts. Heavy calibers, you know, 338 per, 300 Win Mag, 50 cal. I've seen 20mm floating around on certain ranges. We have cannon clubs that do all kind of cannon stuff. As far as I'm aware, there is no maximum caliber. You just have to justify why you want it. So if you're on a club that could take a 40mm cannon, and it's got a nice backstop half a mile away, and you fancy a 40mm cannon, then crack on. If you can justify it, then you could probably buy it. I will look into it a little bit more, but sorry guys in the States, yes, we have guns. We know what we're doing with them. We have a gun community, it's quite small, but nevertheless we're here, we're active, and it's growing, you know, numbers are going up. So I'll maybe focus that in a little bit more detail in a different video. But yes, America, England does have guns, spoiler. Okay, so this last one here, really, lastly but not leastly, was from Bobby Boris, basically saying, it was the post that I put up of me basically saying that we are in lockdown, I am working, and we've been working a lot, the shifts, the amount of call-outs and things have been nuts. And that's one of the main reasons I haven't been able to produce content at the moment. But he basically said, you're lucky you're still working, some of us are stuck at home. I wouldn't say being outside around members of the public that aren't respecting your social space is lucky. Working in an environment where we don't have the correct PPE is lucky. Yeah, I'm still earning, but you're probably sat at home on furlough getting paid 80% of your wage to stay safe, whereas I'm getting 100% of my wage to be in harm's way. I wouldn't necessarily say that was lucky. Yeah, a bit of a weird comment to reply to that one, but hopefully what we're doing will help. We're noticing a bit of a drop down. Boris Johnson is about to make an address, so we'll have to see what he says. But yeah, working out in these conditions, trust me, it's not luck. I wouldn't kind of wish it on anybody at the moment. But yeah, that's the last comment. So, going forward, restrictions and stuff, they've said that we can get out to do exercise. Obviously, we just have to respect social distance. So, that happened literally a couple of minutes ago, which will open the path for me to be able to get on with my shooting, producing content, and reviewing stuff. So, what have we got coming up? Now, first of all is going to be a bit of a project I want to do. Obviously, long-range shooting is something that I've been doing a lot, especially with the air guns. 22, I fear, is kind of at the end of my limit of what I can do at the Crown. So I need to go 2.5. So I need to build, and I'm going to call this Project 2.5, because a whole series on it, hopefully, if I can get a couple of people on board, and basically show how to set up a gun for long range, and all of the processes that go on in the background that then result in that one shot that you'll see, you know, 250, 300, 350 yards, and do a whole project and just show that it's not just a case of just boshing some data into Sturlock and fire one shot and everybody runs around clapping and waving their hands around. It's quite an involved thing, but I want to try and get a few people on side, try and get a couple of things in place and do like the ultimate 2.5 long range gun setup. It's a project. Other than that, I currently have this one in to test. This is the BSA Gold Star. It's a really cool little gun. I think it's kind of been overlooked. I wonder if it's a little bit too cheap. If that sounds a bit weird. A lot of FT shooters will spend £2 on the scope, not under £2 for the whole setup. So I want to do a lot of testing with this, review it, and just show it off, because it's a cracking bit of kit, and I have enjoyed sort of just learning it, I suppose. Very accurate, very capable, and doesn't break the bank. So if you want to get into competition shooting, but don't have or don't want to spend a lot of money, this is a really cool thing. Other than that, we've got a couple of bits of gear. There's a red dot sight from Hawk that I want to put on the Chris Defiance. I need to do something with the Chris Defiance, actually, while I remember. The list is really long. Now that we're able to get out, hopefully in my downtime, I will be able to bring a lot more content to you. Obviously, appreciate the last 2 months have been a bit weird. The month before, I basically moved up to Cumbria for a month and lived in a Premier Inn up there with work. And then we came back down to lockdown. So it's been a bit of a weird one, and that's why there's been a gap. Now that we're able to produce, I will get on with it. And hopefully, as I say, the next video will be something a little bit more interesting than my room. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you're all staying safe, and we will see you in the next video.